the live.
Welcome to the live, peeps.
We are back.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Let's just go ahead and get started.
Yes.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
This is Dee.
This is Shelbie.
And we're from Bitch Please. If you're tuning in, you see that we do have a special guest. We do have Miss Vyta Copeland with us.
Hello, Miss Vyta.
Welcome, everyone. Hello.
She is actually one of my sorors, and she was the advisor at my university, my alma mater. And she's a lovely, lovely, lovely lady. And so we have her here with us today just to talk about life and all different things. So everybody buckle in because we're going to get started. But before we do, how are your screws?
They're actually really good today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
we're
really
off. Because I was off.
Yeah.
Because I was off. I had 2 whole days off. I was able to get my house in order, just my mental health in order. I was able to be a potato at the same time. Like, it's just been a very chill last 2 days.
I love that.
I need more time off, but 2 days is where it's at for now. But yeah, my screws are great, man. I feel, I don't know, very put together today.
Nice.
I'm also not PMSing.
Oh, that's great.
So the PMS is gone.
Yeah.
Because last week I was like raging.
Yeah.
But that was also because stupid people and hormones mixed together just never works well.
Not a good combo.
Yeah, I'm good. What about you? How are your screws?
My screws are actually good today.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little irritated earlier, but it was fine,
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. And I did a costume switch for Halloween.
Yes, she did.
And so I'm very excited because it's going to be very cute. And so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We're going to go do a party on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm very excited.
So Miss Vyta, how are your screws?
Yes.
I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise, and it is easy.
Yes. Okay.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions, just see how things are going. And we're just going to flow. We're going to just see how the conversation goes.
I'm ready.
Before we do that, let me do this. Oh, okay. Yes. I'm glad that we sound good. Yay. I am so glad that we sound good. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. You want to ask the first question?
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, like, what you do and, maybe your reasons why coming on the podcast, stuff like that. Just little stuff. Good to know you.
Well, the reason why I'm here is, of course, because of Dee. Of course, I know her by her government name, but she will be Dee. And I've actually followed you all, and I watch you all on TikTok and on Instagram. And when I first saw it, I was like, is that Dee? Because TikTok kind of like gives you everybody, and I was like, I had no idea, and then I became obsessed. And so anytime I would ever see you all, and I just, like I said earlier, I think you guys have such a beautiful chemistry. It is easy. It's easy to watch you all. And so when I got the invite, I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So and I saw one another soror was on as well.
Yes.
Ashley, right?
Yep, Ashley.
Right?
Yep.
So I was like, absolutely. So, but what do I do?
Yeah.
My daytime job, I work for the state, and we're gonna leave it at that. And I do love what I do. I love what I do, and I love who I do it with. But because of that, it needs to remain private. So I work for the state.
Fair.
And what I do, my little superhero power things are I sing in a band.
Oh,
that's awesome.
The J Sound. I also am very present on social media. So I have my own social media pages. I enjoy doing that. So I teach part-time. So I teach intro to psych. I teach child psychology, and I teach abnormal psychology. So right now,
interesting.
I'm teaching abnormal psychology. What else do I do? So I'm in a band, I sing. I'm probably missing something, but I'm booked and busy. Let's just say that.
I love that.
That's a good place to be.
That's a good life when you book and busy.
I'm booked and busy.
I know that's right.
When you said your band, what type of music do you guys sing?
R&B mainly, but the R&B is 70s, 80s, 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, so
good vibes.
So send us a link on any sort of social media for your band page so that we can go ahead and promote that and send that out because we want
absolutely
to get other people to listen.
Done.
Busy.
Yes, I feel like I've forgotten something already of what I do, but yeah, I stay
Yeah.
booked and busy. I stay. I have not sat in my house on a Saturday for, I think this will be 9 weeks straight.
Oh
Ooh,
wow.
Like,
girl.
I get up and I have somewhere to go. I've had somewhere to go every Saturday. And I think after next weekend, which would be 10 weeks straight, I will
Yeah.
finally, on the 11th week, have nothing on the books.
Love
Wow.
that. Enjoy that weekend.
Seriously.
Yeah, well,
So
I knew I was going to forget something. What it
mhm.
is I do event planning. So
Okay.
earlier this year, I planned an event on Leaders Lead. And then just recently, I say within the last few months, I did one on menopause and massages. So that's another thing.
Oh, that's
Oh, I
dope.
love that.
Definitely want to talk about menopause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely want to talk about menopause.
Okay.
Because a girl got a question. It's a bunch of questions.
Okay.
But that's really dope that you have all of that going on. But one of my questions is, with being that busy, how
Mhm.
do you take time to yourself during that time so you don't burn out?
Yeah.
When I break, I break.
Mm.
So,
So we the same then, because
yes.
I be going until I'm like, I can't go no more.
Well, no, and I don't do that. What I
Oh, okay.
when I break, it's like when I come home, I make a conscious effort to look at my phone when it rings, and I
I
say,
got
"Do I
you.
have the bandwidth
Got
to
you.
have this
That's smart.
conversation?" And if I don't have the bandwidth, it goes unanswered
Yep.
I feel you.
because I love me more.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you better than me.
Yes,
That's for sure.
yeah, that's the tagline of all of my social medias.
Yeah.
Tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about your social media.
And what made you start it?
Yeah.
Well, I've been a part of YouTube probably since like 2011, but it was always, do a little, go away for a few years, do a little, go away for a
Hmm.
few years. And it has changed over the years, but currently my YouTube channel is called Life Her Way, Loving Me More. And so that was birthed out of simply, I thought I was loving myself more, but I really wasn't, because I'm a
Mm.
giver. That's who I am. I'm a giver. And
Hmm.
I realized you're really not, because this is out of order. This is out of order. And this is like all these things were out of order. But yet, I was saying, I love me, and I have this sign that I love me more. Even when I was at Wilberforce. So that was back in 1856. So I've had this slogan of I love me more for years,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but had a come to Jesus moment with myself. And I'm like, you really don't, because your weight is out of whack. Your mental health, not like I'm crazy, but I was not taking the fact that, again, when you break, you need to break. You can
Yeah.
tell people no. So taking care of my mental health was out of whack. Giving to a relationship that did not give back was out of whack.
Girl.
Um, it was just, there were so many things that were not serving me
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And that's when I finally left the relationship in 2022. I realized you're not really loving yourself more, but you're going to now, because
Mm-hmm.
I was in this relationship for almost a decade, and
Oh wow.
every day, like we went to the same town to where we worked, we had lunch together, we drove home together. I basically lived with him, and there was really no time for me. And I was in another
Yeah.
band, and that band was more, it was very eclectic. So we did country, we did soft rock, we did pop. So that band was very eclectic. And then he played the trumpet in it. So we were together with that. So,
Oh.
and then, him being an artist, and I was the paper side, he was the people side.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we were together with that. And there was just, there was really no time for me to love myself more, because I had no time for myself.
Right.
I made
Understandable.
no time for myself.
Gotta make time for yourself.
Yeah.
Always gotta make time for yourself.
Seriously. That sounds
Mhm.
very much like my previous marriage. Is like we did the same thing. It was very much like, I mean, where he went, I went, where I went, he went, sort of deal. So there was no space for me to learn how to love myself like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you saying that, because I relate a lot.
And
Mhm.
it's always really cool that like I can appreciate people doing things together, but I can also appreciate you having separate lives.
Mhm.
Like it's cool to hang out with everybody and all that, but like you also have to take that time to
You
be
have to.
your own person and do
Yeah.
your own thing. So I think it's cool that you've taken that time to do that, and same with you.
Yeah.
I think it's dope.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
it's dope. He said conjoined housing.
Yes.
For real though, with one hallway that connects the two houses.
Right? Honestly.
Space and privacy.
That would be the best, to be
Well,
real.
Yeah.
when I left that relationship, I made it very clear that I did not want anybody local. Yeah,
Mm.
and so the two relationships that I had afterwards were very brief because I
Mhm.
realized, well, I mean, I had parameters, and most of them dealt with the fact that I was in a band. And if you can't deal with that, I don't know what to tell you. And I will
Mhm.
be able to give you at least one weekend a month for sure, maybe two. But for the most part, again, our band is booked and busy. We have a residency. So we're
Yeah.
at a casino once a month. That's off the rip. And then that's not counting all the other things that just happen to come on our calendar.
Yeah.
So I was given the gentleman, at least one weekend a month, and I would go out of town, or he would come here. And then I realized I don't even want to see you once a month.
Isn't it crazy when that realization hits?
Yeah. I
Then
was like, I
you're
don't
like,
think I
I
want
just
to be in a
I want
relationship.
to do this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to do this. This is, and then I
That's
was like, okay, well,
real.
maybe it was just this one. So let me try it again.
Yeah.
So I waited a little time and tried it again. I was like, oh no, I don't even want to see you once a month either. So yeah,
Ooh,
Girl.
this is not for me. I'm okay.
yeah.
Girl.
So with that of like not wanting to deal, did that make you go, you know what? I just don't want to date. Like I just want to chill, mind my business, and be doing my thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you are in a relationship where you are joined at the hip, and you have this newfound freedom of, not that I had to check in, it was a
Mhm.
respect thing, and I watched his parents. That's how they lived. So if I had not been so intricately involved in his life and his family's life,
Yeah.
I would have been like, this is too much togetherness. But I
Mhm.
saw where he came from, and that those were his parents. I mean, if you saw one, you saw the other until his
Mhm.
father died in 2022, like joined at the hip. And so at first I was like,
Yeah.
this is too much togetherness, but then I was like, but he wants to be with me and I do want to be with him. But it got to a point where I would have to be like, yeah, I need to go home. Well, why you need to go home? Well, I need to wash my clothes. You can wash your clothes here. I'm like, I'm just trying to go home.
Yeah, I just need some space. I need some me
Just trying
time.
to go
Just
home. That's
me
it.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I would come home and next thing you know, I see a little red convertible pull up in my backyard, and that's him coming on in like, hey, just checking on you. I'll be there when I get back.
Right.
but
Listen.
but that would have been his father with his mother if his
Yeah.
mother
Yeah.
was somewhere. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw it as stalking. That's just how he was reared, and that
Yeah.
was how he was hardwired.
Yeah.
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 I mean, people do. People are raised differently, and so some of the things that they feel or want to do with their partner are very different. It's like you got to figure out where your stuff aligns with their stuff.
Exactly.
If it aligns,
Mhm, mhm.
once a month is once
Not
a
enough.
month is rough.
Once a
Yeah.
month
Well,
is rough. It's rough. It's not for everybody.
Three
no.
times a month, okay. Once
Yeah.
a month,
Well, that
Yeah.
that's when I knew, like, you don't want to do this. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
if and if they agreed to once a month, what does that say about them? They have a life too,
Yeah.
and they're not pressed.
Yeah.
And or they are, and they're pressing somebody else. I don't know. But all I can say is when I realized I don't even want to see you once a month, I realized I don't think you really want to be in a relationship. So
yeah,
Yeah.
let's chill. Let's just take it back and be
Yeah.
by ourselves and concentrate on the things that you truly enjoy which is your social media, teaching, singing in
Yeah.
a band, and event planning. Let's just stick with that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that for you though. My
Seriously.
question, curiosity, is piquing me a little bit. How is the dating pool for women? Um,
How How old are you now? If you don't,
If you
if
don't
you
mind
want
us
to, you
asking.
could just give your range if you'd like.
Oh, I'm
You don't have to.
52.
I know that's
Okay,
right.
yes,
Yeah.
bitch.
I know that's
So
right.
how is the dating pool
It sucks
for
ASS.
Yeah, well,
well, I was like, it's not any better for us at our age either.
it's so funny
No,
because I
no.
was.
I did a video. I'm sorry. Am I talking too much?
No,
No, no,
girl,
no. Go
do
ahead.
Oh,
it.
okay.
This is your
So,
time, girl.
okay. So I did a video some time ago about the hospice wives. And you guys probably too young, have no idea what that is.
No.
So a hospice wife is a woman who marries a man who has basically lived his life, done all the things that he wants to do.
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, if he has children, they're grown. 9 times out of 10, he has never married. But now that he is
Oh.
old
Hmm.
and ready to settle down, he wants to in his 50s and 60s when
Hmm.
Mhm.
everything is about broke, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to settle down, but you want to settle down with someone who's younger than you because you
Hmm.
want someone to
Mm.
take care of you. Hospice.
Interesting.
I get it. I get it.
Interesting.
So we have some comments. So many women want that according to their social media posts, and I'm guessing this is in regards to the amount of time that they want to spend with people. I'm assuming. Um, and then the dating pool never gets good because the good isn't in it long. Mm,
That's very true.
Ooh, I like that. That's a
I do
very
too.
true statement.
That's a very real
And
statement.
That's very true. Girl, I'm
and
avoiding
when they
the
get back
dating
in it,
pool.
it's probably because somebody died.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
That's true,
And then
especially with that age,
and
and
then
like
you
as
have
you
to
get
deal with
older.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to deal. I'm like, so what's worse? Someone who is just who wants to settle down, but you're settling down for the wrong reasons. They get with a woman who is younger or a woman who is their age but in really really good shape, because again
Yeah.
the point is they want someone to take care of them, but there are a lot of things on their bodies, meaning the men, their bodies that are broken or breaking.
Yeah.
Mm, mm-hmm.
So now it's like, oh well, wait a minute now, I'm getting to an age where somebody got to take care of me.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
let me go find somebody. No, I'm good. So
Oh,
I'm not even interested in marriage. Like I want to have my house. I want you to have your house.
yeah.
Because
Same.
if
Right.
Same.
we want each other to be on insurance, you can do that without marriage. If you want me to
100%.
have something of yours before before you pass away, you could put that in writing. I could put that in writing. Like we don't need a piece of paper to say that I want to make sure you're taken care of when I'm gone.
Amen.
I agree. We were actually just
We were
talking
just
about this the other day
yeah.
because I was like, I don't see the benefit.
I don't see the benefit.
I was like,
That's
Me
outside
either.
of like insurance purposes and which
I have a
really isn't a
job.
benefit. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
that's
I
it.
have a job. So to me, it's more of a benefit for the United States of America,
I agree.
because when that
Mhm.
divorce hits, there's a lot of people that get paid, and 9 times out of
Girl,
10, it's not the people who are getting divorced.
that's so true.
Hmm.
So true.
That is very
So
true.
It was more expensive to get divorced than it was to get married.
see,
It's just, it's crazy.
see,
It's crazy.
and
Yeah.
because I've never had children, excuse me, I have a child, but I've never been pregnant.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
So because I've never been pregnant, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you don't know because when you have kids, and this is my thing. There was a post just recently on one of the Facebook pages I follow where a young lady was telling everyone about how her husband was, I guess, talking to a girl at a club, and she found it in his phone. Because, my grandma said if you go looking for something, you'll surely find
You
it.
gonna
So,
find
You're
it.
gonna find it
um, yeah. And
every time.
so she found it, and now she's asking the group, what to do. And I was like, my comment was, if you don't plan on leaving him, remain silent. But
Because
if
that's
you
probably what's gonna happen anyway.
exactly,
Seriously. Yeah.
yeah. So, but if you plan on leaving him, make your plan,
Mm-hmm.
work your plan, and leave. But if you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
don't plan on leaving him, she's talking about postpartum and all these things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
focus on your postpartum and focus on that newborn baby that y'all have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a part of the post as well, if I didn't say that. So I'm like, focus on your newborn and your postpartum. But if you don't plan on leaving this man, why are you adding gasoline to the fire?
Yeah. That's the truth.
You know what's funny though is I feel like,
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
before you read the comment, I feel like a lot of people do that, especially when they're younger, because they just want to feel heard and seen. You know, they're like, let me argue so I can feel heard and seen, but it don't change nothing. You're expending this energy for what? For
Why? I agree.
nothing,
For
you know?
nothing.
And
Wasting
then
energy.
usually if they do it one time, they're gonna do it again.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So
This is facts. The comment, you will always find it if you look for it. That's facts. You
Mhm.
will. Always.
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 My thing is like if I have an inkling for some wild mess, I'm probably gonna be out.
See,
Oh yeah.
Because if like especially if it's like a trust issue, like if I can't trust you, then there's no reason for us to be together because I'm
100%.
gonna be I'm an overthinker. I know I'm an overthinker. I have always been an overthinker.
Same.
And for somebody that does overthink, if I feel that or at all, I'm gonna spin and spin and spin and spin. And I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation.
Yep.
Well, at 52, so the last 2 relationships that I had prior to my long-term relationship, I came out and I was very upfront with the fact, like, this is what I'm looking for at this age. This is
Yeah.
what I want. Now, when you decide that you want to bring someone else in the picture, give me that courtesy call to let me know if I still want to be down.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. But if I find out
Mhm.
and I don't get the courtesy call, you ain't gonna like it because it has nothing to do with the fact that you did it. It has everything to do about the disrespect of it all.
That part.
That part.
That part.
So,
That right
so
there.
people like, oh, women like to go off and because they're jealous. No, it's because you were disrespectful.
Exactly.
That's why women go off. It's this
Exactly.
disrespect. You can have whoever you want to have, but give me the courtesy to say I'm out or
I'm gonna
I'm
stay.
in. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm in.
Either way. Yeah.
The way,
I
but give
agree.
me the courtesy. But
Yeah.
when you think that you're being slick Rick, oh, I got something slippery, but you ain't gonna like it.
It facts.
And that's my
fact.
tongue. Like I'm slick with my tongue. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get a mouthful and some.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
like right now, these men on the social medias, TikTok is the worst. Is
Girl.
the worst with this, getting in your inbox, hey, pretty lady. And, I'm just like, really, I just want to screenshot all that stuff and just put it on other social medias. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You don't want me. You're literally fishing to see who's going to bite.
Exactly.
You don't,
Exactly.
I could have 17 diseases running through me right now.
That's
You
nothing
don't
about me,
you don't
but
know
I'm
nothing.
beautiful.
you don't know what I have, but you are reaching out through the airways trying to fish to see what, throw, what was it? I forgot what they
Exactly.
said. Shooting your shot.
Shooting your shot.
Shooting your
Yeah.
And I
This is
actively
so
ignore.
funny.
I actively ignore because I'm not interested.
How wild are your DMs at 52?
Ridiculous.
Girl.
Ridiculous.
My DMs are wild now.
DMs are funny.
They're so funny.
And they don't
DMs
want
are
anything.
funny.
It's the waving or the hi, how you
Yeah.
doing? And sometimes I could tell what ethnicity they are by the way that they greet me.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah, this may look a color, but you're not that color.
I'm gonna tell you this: if you haven't gotten already, because you locked your hair, you about to get some. Good morning, queen, my beautiful goddess. They gonna be
My
they gonna
Nubian
give you that, my
princess.
Nubian princess.
Yeah.
How are you doing this morning? You'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm not even about that. I just have locks because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that's it.
See?
I am not that earthy girly that you think I am. I'm just out here
Exactly.
because I don't want to do my hair.
Yeah.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The best thing I've ever done. I'm not even gonna lie.
I always say I don't know why I didn't do this sooner.
What's so funny about that is that because I was gonna lock my hair in 2014, but everybody told me not to do it. Like every single person in my life was like, "Don't do it. It's not gonna be cute. It's not gonna look good on you." My parents were like, "It's not feminine." Da 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 da. And as soon as I did it, and my hair started to get longer, they were like, "That's the best look you've ever had." And I'm like,
"Wow." Well, I mean, you've always worn long hair.
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now it's yours.
Now it's mine.
It looks so good too. I love her lock.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, we got a comment. You got to fish and catch something before you can investigate the quality.
Boy, bye. You're not wrong though. You're not wrong though. But it's just them sliding up in the DMs like, hey, baby, like, what
Yeah,
are
you'd
you
be
doing,
like,
baby? Like, sir,
I don't even know you.
what is this? Why are you in
Yeah.
here?
And
They don't even know how to start a conversation with a woman.
That was my next question for you is like, what are
Mhm.
the conversations looking like, when you're dating in your 50s? Like, what do those conversations look like? Because I know, at least for us, like we've talked about it, and I know my personal experience is like, it's very, how do I put it? Like, they will portray themselves a certain way to try to kind of reel me in, sort of deal.
They
And
send their
it's just, there's a
representative.
lot of facade. Yeah.
Yeah. They send their rep. Well, that still happens in their 50s.
Oh,
But the
well, mine
representative,
do.
but we all do that. We all send a representative in the beginning
I don't
because,
know.
I don't
well,
know.
I mean, yeah, there's a part of us, well, because you don't know. So you don't really know how to act. So let's just say if you
That's
were,
true.
yeah, so there's, I'm not saying that you're not being authentic, but just like you have a face at work, you have a face at home, you have a face with your girlfriends, and you have a face when you meet someone new.
That's true. No, you're right.
So we all have different faces. It doesn't mean that you're not authentic. It's just sometimes code switching.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
You're
Yeah.
got
not
to be
giving all your faces at once.
Yeah.
exactly.
I
But
got
but
I
you.
this
get
is
it. I got it.
but this is what I like to say. I can only be me because eventually the real me is going to show up.
Yeah.
So if this is the only part that you ever get to see, this is me. You know, um the real me, it's going to show up like somewhere in this conversation, the real me. So accept me for who I am. And I don't have a potty mouth, but I do enjoy a swear word or two or three or four or five. Okay. So
I
Girl,
enjoy
I,
the mess
I
out of
I do
it.
them all the
okay,
time.
okay. And I'm being very, very good right now.
Girl,
Girl,
But
you can
that's
cuss as much
that's
as
the
you want to.
script, girl. Say what you
Say what
want.
you got to say. We are
I
all,
mean,
we don't, we, you've seen the episodes. We be cussing up
yes,
a storm.
yes, yes,
Facts.
yes, yes, yes. But I don't necessarily, I mean, I do swear a little bit on my social media, but I don't want to come across here if people, well, it's not if, when people see
That's
me, well,
understandable.
good
Yeah.
night. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
know she swore like that. But again,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We all have different faces. Like if
No, you're
I were
right.
with,
That
I
makes
may
sense.
say a little, Sunday school word here or there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Let's see this comment. I got one face that it's sexy. It is. You do
Get
have a
it
sexy
sexy.
face.
Get it sexy. I can't with
You
you.
got to do the little bad bitches unite.
Yes. Get it sexy. All right. So I
Oh wait,
wanted.
we got another one. Hold on.
Oh,
What do you say? I'm a Christian, non-denominational, Jewish, Buddhist. Cursing offends me.
I
Well,
cannot.
to the fuck bad.
To the fuck bad.
wow, wow. I'm so glad I didn't put a lot of tea in my mouth.
So,
um.
so I wanted to hop in.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on. We got another comment. Your
Oh, that's my
cousin.
cousin.
Yeah.
hey,
Yes.
welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I know you said
No,
you
no,
had a
no.
question.
I wanted to because I wanted to move to onto the menopause and the
Yes.
perimenopause
Well,
and
before we get to menopause, because
okay.
I did have a question about childlessness.
Yeah.
Yes.
How has that been for you? Like when you're meeting new
Great.
people. I mean,
Sorry.
yes, I get it. Totally understand because neither one of us.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
babies.
So, but how has that been when you're? Well, I guess it's a little different because you are older, so the expectation of popping out kids is like probably not there.
Hmm, hmm.
So, but
But then there's also the expectation of like, if the partner had died, are they looking for a stepmom? Are they looking for somebody to come in and help raise their children and stuff like that too? So
mhm.
how does that look for you?
Well, most men in my age group, they some of them ask,
Oh,
can you
okay.
still bear children? Because they don't want anymore.
Okay,
And
okay,
they
okay.
will
Got it.
and they will tell you, I don't date women who can still bear children. Like, because some of not some of them, the last two I dated are still paying child support. How about that?
Oh
Yes, they are.
Lord.
So they're still paying child support, So no, they the last two that I dated, I mean, my ex for almost 10 years was paying child support the whole time I was with him.
Oh wow.
So, but by the time I got with him, literally, I would say I was probably a month or two out of having a partial hysterectomy. So
Gotcha.
that was, and I was 44. And although I could still give my eggs and have them implanted, like my cousin Monique has said for years, if me and my ex wanted to have children, she would carry the child. And I said, I'm not having any children. I'm okay. I knew how to have them when I could have them
That's
before the age
right.
of 44. Like, I wasn't dumb. I chose not to
Yeah.
Yeah.
have children. And so many men in my age group are not looking for children. And the ones who have children already and that are paying child support, I've not met any man that his spouse is deceased.
Okay.
Most of them are divorced,
Gotcha.
and or they dated and had children but never married. So
Gotcha.
that was my ex. But the
Okay.
last two wives, well, ex-wives,
Mhm.
and a child, and both of them, yeah, one child each by their
Okay.
ex-wife. So yeah, but yeah, no, none of them, nobody. And at 52, I'm telling you, what we're not trying to do is sit
Girl,
around with kids.
that's
I
facts.
don't want to do that. I didn't want to do it
Yeah,
at 30. I didn't want to do it at 33. I don't want to do it at 36.
no,
No.
and people try to make you feel a certain kind of way
They
because you
do.
chose. So this is the thing, I tell people I had a partial hysterectomy. Well, that's the reason why I had a partial hysterectomy at 44.
Yeah.
I had some good childbearing years that I could have had a child, but I didn't. But also, I have to be, transparent. I was super saved.
Yeah.
When I was at Wilberforce,
Mm-hmm.
super saved. So back then, wasn't nothing getting in. I mean, Jesus was gonna have to sit down and say, "Thou is daughter. This is your husband. Open your legs.
This is your man.
This is
That's
him.
it.
This be him." But I was super saved for many, 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 many years, and so that also kept me with no children. And I got to a point in my salvation and my super savedness, if you will, where I was like, think I want them. And
Yeah.
I surrounded myself around women with no children. I found it annoying. I found it annoying to be friends with women with children because they kept me bound. I would always have to wait for them to get babysitters. Like does not compute. Are you going or not?
Right.
But I have to wait for you to get a babysitter. I have to wait for this. I have to wait for that because you have other obligations. And so I found myself really pulling away from women who had that obligation of children. And I
That's interesting.
That
really,
is interesting.
yeah, I really attached to women who did not. Because when I was
Yeah.
ready to go, I was ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I have a lot of women friends who have
I
children.
do as well.
I don't have it like it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's like when we can link up, we can link up. But I'm also closest with my women friends who don't have children.
Yeah.
So we have a better connection, a better bond because we have the time to be able to
Just
like
up and go.
just up and go. Like, hey, what you doing right now? You want to go get some food?
Yes.
And we'd be like, yeah, let's go be fat and eat some Mexican food. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yes.
Your cousin said my children's father has 27 children.
27 children.
Oh my
You need to get
gosh.
snipped, bro.
You said you have more free time without them.
Oh my god. 27?
27
Homeboy was
children?
busy.
Wow.
Busy.
I
trying
don't
to
think I
read
knew
properly.
that.
Oh wow.
Damn.
She said women without children are fabulous aunties. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm like
Absolutely,
so
cuz.
cool with being the auntie. Like I'm so cool with that.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting because you do meet people, especially at our age, because it's like it's weird. Like, why don't you have kids by now? What have you been doing wrong? What's wrong with you? And then if you meet somebody and you tell them you don't want kids, then you got to like figure out if they're going to want to date you or not, because maybe they do want kids. Or like there's been situations that I've been in where I was trying to date somebody and they were like, they want kids. And I was like, sorry, I don't. So let's go ahead and dead it and we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
And it's always very interesting because people in our age bracket are looking for kids if they don't have them already.
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd for, I guess, our age range to not. I don't know. I don't
It's
think
not
it was
odd.
weird.
It's called a choice.
It's all a choice, but people think it is the weirdest thing, especially when I turned 30, they thought it was strange that I didn't have like 2 or 3 kids by that point.
Yeah.
Like they were just blown by the fact that I didn't have children.
Yeah.
And now I also had a partial hysterectomy, so I can't carry, and I'm not paying to have IVF. I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And me personally, I don't like, I don't have an issue dating anybody who has kids. I always, for me, have to set that boundary of like, I can't meet your kid unless we're going to get real serious.
Exactly.
Because I give a lot of mommy energy off. And I do a lot of the mommy shit, even though I don't want to bear my own children. I can't bear my own children. I've got surgery, so I can't bear my own children, but I do have those maternal instincts. So it's like, I'm not going to meet your kid unless we are actually really going to get serious. Like that's my boundary, because I'm not about to put all that time and energy into forming this bond with your child and you decide to dip.
Yeah.
You know, or you decide to flip script and be a different person.
Exactly. I think that it's going to take the women who have decided, and or because of life circumstances, it has just been decided for them that they cannot bear children, that we have to make it normal for a woman not to have a child. But we have to be the ones. It's not weird. It is life circumstances and or choice. That is the reason why. But it's not weird, because every woman on this planet was not put on this earth to procreate, but we are nurturers by nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm number 16 out of 17 children.
Girl.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So my mother had 7. My father had 7. Then they got together and had 3. So on both sides, I'm number 9 out of 10.
That must have been some really crazy Christmases and holidays, bro.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Number 9 out of 10 on both sides.
Girl.
Wow. They said, how can you even create 27 children? That, I mean, busy.
See, that's the thing is men can do that.
Right. You can just pop them out, because you can
just pop them out.
You can have multiple people pregnant at the same time. That's
in
why
the same
birth
day.
control should not. Anyway,
in the same day, men can impregnate 20 some odd women in one day if they really
worked hard and they had that type of stamina. They could do it.
They could do it.
I mean, sperm banks.
Girl, that's true. That's true.
I can't tell if this is like a troll or not. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. We're just
skipping it.
Yeah.
Can they? I mean, guys can have multiple. I mean, they can't physically have them, but if they wanted to impregnate multiple people, they could, because they're able to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take them, time to create a life. They just need a nut, and that's that on that.
Absolutely.
She said, my daughters did the math on children. They told me early on they can't afford them. That's fast.
That's
very good.
I'm expensive.
I can barely take care of me. I struggle every day. Like, girl, you need to eat again? Again? God, you want clothes and you want to eat. And you want to have AC and electricity.
Girl, I'm saying.
Golly. He said, you gotta find that many women willing to lay with you. I mean, he apparently did. He had 27.
He found that many, or at least half of that.
That's true. I don't know if there's multiple. She
That's
said
crazy.
It's probably more.
Oh my God.
God.
He's one of those men that are like the form of narcissistic. Sorry, I don't know if you close to this person or not.
This is her cousin's baby daddy.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if you close to your baby daddy or not, and hopefully I don't offend you, but maybe he got this narcissism thing where I've seen that men have, where they need to create more of themselves.
Ooh.
They need to create, they have this compulsion to create more of themselves, and they feel like they're doing that by having this many children.
You know what's so funny? Her ex-husband. Okay. It was her ex-husband. My ex-boyfriend's cousin had a crap ton of kids, and his goal in life is to have a kid in every state. He literally said he wants that to happen.
That's wild.
I was like, how are you gonna do that? You don't even got a job. Like,
sometimes
only people who don't have a job say stuff like that.
Yeah, how you gonna do that?
Because they know that they have no intention of helping to,
exactly.
He said, men
So
don't just be getting 27 women. Most don't even touch that many women in their life. Well, homeboy touched a couple.
Seriously.
At least 5.
At least 5.
At least 5.
I'm saying.
Or 14 women. I'm telling you.
Actually, he did it. He was in it.
Now, Valencia, now I gotta ask, how many mothers are there? Like, is there 27? Is there 27 women, or is it like 5 women who just been pushing out kids?
We're invested now, Valencia.
I gotta know the tea. I gotta know the
tea. I gotta know it.
Oh yeah, there's a serial impregnator. I made that up.
No, there
real. Actually is.
They're real.
Actually is.
And there have been men that have been jailed due to this because they have impregnated and have had over hundreds of children. And yeah, it's actually pretty wild.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
It's 8:40, so I don't know if we want to.
Dang, already?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know if we want to get
we have just been chatting away.
We sure have. I didn't know it was that we were going. I mean, we can go a little bit later if we need to, because we were having a good conversation. So that's okay. That's cool. But yeah, Valencia, please share the tea, girl. Share the tea.
Hell yeah.
There's one woman that has 8.
8. What? Okay, now I gotta ask, like, which in the
order,
all of the 27, in the order of the 27 kids, did she have like the first 8, or she like had one and then like a couple of baby mamas?
Girl, now you overthinking it.
Because I'm curious, like, you had 8 with somebody who had 27, so like, did he already have 15?
Yeah.
Did he have?
He had the first 8.
I think it's just the fact that he had 27 is astounding enough.
I had a friend who had 8 kids with 6 different women.
See what I'm saying?
That's insane.
I also know somebody.
She said yes.
That's crazy. I also know somebody who has 13 children, and he has them from 8 different baby mothers. I know him through family members and stuff like that. But yeah, I know men who have mad kids. He pays all child support for all of them.
I mean, kudos, but like, damn.
But yeah, he impregnated every woman he got with. How crazy is that?
I would never want to meet him.
Seriously.
I married him in 1991. Wait, so how many? Wait, okay. Sorry, girl. I hope you don't mind. How many kids did he have when y'all met by that point? Because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, while we wait for her answer, Vyta, I want to ask you a little bit more about your weight loss journey, because I know you've talked about that before.
Sorry. She said she found out that he had 11 when she divorced him, and he pays.
Oh, wow.
That's insane. Crazy. Okay,
that's
sorry.
Crazy. No, that's okay. I just don't want to take from Vyta.
No, I know.
I want to hear more about your weight loss journey, because I know you've talked about.
And then we can hit to menopause, because I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, actually, they all go together. So what happened was, I was not at my best as far as my health, and I was achy, literally from the sole of my feet to my neck. Just always in constant pain. So I went and I had an MRI done, and literally the doctor said, it's just the natural way your body is aging. You don't have arthritis. All this time I'm thinking I have arthritis. I have arthritis. Well, I'm sorry. They never said I did not have arthritis. Mm-hmm. This is what I assumed what he meant when he said this is the natural way your body is aging. I'm like, well, I have arthritis, So all these years I was saying I have arthritis, and it just got to the point where it was very uncomfortable to get up in the morning. Back was achy, feet soon as it hit the floor, like pricklings. And I was just like, something has got to give. And I overheard women at my job talking about this weight loss stuff. And I was like, what are they talking about? These injections, but you have to be, a diabetic. And I'm like, well, I don't have any ailment. Outside of the way my body is naturally aging, I don't have anything. Mm-hmm. And so to make a long story short, I started doing the YouTube dive of natural remedies for aches and pains. And I eventually stumbled on a couple, and I forgot their name. I wish I had written it down, but a couple that was talking about magnesium flakes in distilled water helping with pain, and castor oil drops in the nasal cavity.
I heard castor oil too. I heard castor oil is really good for that.
Yes. And so I started kind of using that and I felt a little, ooh, wait a minute, because every time you are overweight and you're achy, people say what you need to start doing is exercising. Well, if you're in excruciating pain,
Yeah,
It's
the last thing you want to do is
hard.
yeah,
exercise.
It's
yeah, you
hard.
no, because what happens is because you don't move, when you do start moving, now on top of you achy, you're extremely sore.
Yeah.
So then you have to work through that soreness, but then you're still achy
Yeah.
because the
Mm-hmm.
aching has not stopped, but the soreness may have subsided. So basically that was my basically seesaw or merry-go-round. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to start working out. I start working out, but I'm like, I'm still in a lot of pain. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
see this benefit of quote unquote losing weight. I lost 16 pounds in 2023, December of 2023 by juicing.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And
Actually, I know a
yes.
lot of people who did the juicing thing and it helped them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but it's not economic. It's not
No, it's not.
economical for me. It was not
Yeah.
sustainable. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
did juicing, I did raw, then I did cooked, and I did a combination of them all. And in 1 month, 16 pounds down.
Woo,
So
girl.
so I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I have 16 pounds down. I am moving a lot more, and I am still aching.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
it has to be more to it. And then again, I said, let me start looking up menopause.
Mm.
I realized what these aches and pains were from menopause. It wasn't
Oh.
the way
Interesting.
that my body was naturally aging. And so when I started using the magnesium flakes with the distilled water and I started spraying myself every day, every night, every day, every night. Now, of course, it has a residue, and if you don't like it, you can just jump in the shower a few minutes later and just wash it off you because by that time that magnesium has already entered into your body. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm dropping with the, castor oil
Yeah.
in my stomach and I'm sleeping like a baby.
Love
And
that
I'm
for
just
you.
like,
That magnesium girl will really do that.
yes, yes. And I'm sleeping extremely well. And
Yeah.
so then now I'm like, well, let me see about these shots. So now I'm feeling a little better. And so I decided to go to a weight loss clinic because again, I don't have diabetes, so I can't get the shot. So I
Yeah.
go
Mm-hmm.
to a weight loss clinic and I'm paying. I'm paying. But I'm getting it. And I started that. So December of 2023. I do the 16 pounds weight loss with the juicing. All this while, I'm still researching. So by February of 2024, I'm now on the
Mhm.
shot.
Oh, okay.
So from December to February, I did my research, started a regimen, and now I'm on the shot. Now I feel good
Nice.
about getting on the shot. So from February of 2024 till now, I have regularly been using a weight loss injectable in order to lose weight. I
Well,
started at
nice.
251. I'm now at 207.
Good for
Nice. Okay.
you.
Good for
Okay.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I needed that as
Yeah.
a quicker picker upper to move me forward because
Absolutely.
menopause was not allowing it to go away. And that's what
Yeah.
women
Mm-hmm.
don't understand. Like when you start going through menopause, when I tell you the stuff will just sit on you like I am supposed to be here. What why are you trying to get rid of me? And
Yeah.
no
Mm-hmm.
matter what you're doing, it's just there. And so it's like all you can hear in your head is big back, big back. I'm like, yeah,
Girl, I hear that
it's
shit when
all
I wake up in the morning.
that's all I hear is big back. I'm like, I don't want a big back. I don't want it, and
Yeah.
now that my insurance pays for it, and I only pay $35 a month, it's because they have a program and I have a nutritionist, I have a dietitian, because
Love
my
that.
job, they see the benefit of people who need to lose the weight to have
Mhm.
the ability to have the injectable. Now, I'm not on anything that is straight for diabetics. I'm on the weight loss injectable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what's up.
I
And
love that for
love
you
it.
because I know
Thank
like
you.
that weight loss has probably helped. I mean, even though like you do have like the perimenopause or the menopause like aches and pains, but I'm
Mhm.
sure that weight loss has helped immensely on your
Yes.
joints too.
Mhm.
Because when I lost all that weight, my joints were like they did not hurt the way they do
Oh,
when
yeah.
I gained it all back. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember the first day that I did a squat. I think I have a video on Facebook. I squatted down and I got down and got back. I said, did y'all see that? Like I surprised my own self. I had to do it again. And I
That's
kept it in
right.
the video. I'm like, did y'all see this? Wait a minute.
Hell
Like I
yeah.
had not done that in forever.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I back when I was a young girl, I cheered, I danced, so I remember doing the splits and doing the high kicks. And I remember my grandmother used to say, you get older, you're gonna wish you didn't do that. I'm like, oh, grandma. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. She said, keep living. She said, little gal, you better stop going down in the splits. You're gonna wish you had when you get older. And I whop down there again in the splits. And baby,
You said, I'm
the
just gonna
more
show you.
yeah, the more she was telling me don't do it, the more I wanted to go into the splits and do everything. I used to take my right leg and my left leg and put it behind my head. I mean, I was very, very limber. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
she said, yeah, you doing that now. You keep living. You ain't gonna be able to do that. I was like, yes, I will.
Yes.
No, I can't.
Listen,
Girl.
let me see.
There's a lot that I used to be able to do when I was younger. I
Oh
can't do
my
now.
God.
We got some comments. No pain, no gain. My loving parents got their first and only two children, stayed and are still married for over 20 years, never reproducing again. My marriage is the same, spiritual marriage, faithful to the spouse and kids. Nice.
Love that. Good
That's
for
dope.
you.
Send me the magnesium brand, please. So
I got you,
send her
Tess.
that. He said the knees got oiled up.
Yeah.
He's cracking up at your how you said little gal.
Look out, honey.
Cause my knees have gotten so bad since menopause arrived.
I got you.
Interesting. I was always curious about how it worked for you and people's experiences, because like I know my mom, when she went through menopause, she had hot flashes like really, really bad.
Oh,
But
I'm having one right now.
are you?
Oh yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
crazy because yeah, they do. They work. My knees work. But she
Boy.
she went through menopause early, like she was in her 40s, and then she started going through menopause, so she was perimenopausal, and then she didn't have a cycle or nothing like that for like 4 years, and then she moved or not moved, but she was around like a bunch of women, and then her cycle started again.
Oh yeah,
And then she
that can
started
happen.
having her cycle regularly again. And then she finally ended up going through menopause. She was struggling a lot. And I'm like, am I going to get that? Because, you do hear about people saying that like whatever the genetics came from their parents, they get that same effects. Like my mom had really bad periods. I had horrible periods. She had really bad menopause. I'm curious if I'm going to also have that.
Yeah.
So I'm always just
Well, no,
curious about
because
it.
my mother did not ever remember. Like I asked my mother because again I had the partial hysterectomy when I was 44, and
Yeah.
of course the first thing they want to do is put you on this medication. I told them I don't want anything. I will
Yeah.
let my body take its natural course. That's why I did not allow them to take my
Your
ovaries,
ovaries.
and I'm like, my
Right.
ovaries didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
They're fine. And she was like, oh, one just looks like it was a little smushed. I was like, that's fine.
It
Just
could
keep
be
She
them
said a
there.
little
smushed.
smush.
Yeah, and she was like, well, most women, they come back years later and you have to remove them. I said, well, then I'll deal with it then. But
Yeah.
I don't want you to take everything, because then I would have gone right into menopause at 44.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I'm fine. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
going I'm
interesting.
going through, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna go in a little earlier than expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might go a little
But
earlier.
I honestly think that there's a lot of women, especially I can't remember. I'm going to see if I can find the article. It was on PubMed. So, but there's been studies done where it's like more and more women are starting to go through perimenopause earlier and earlier.
Yeah, you
And as
start at
early as like
25.
35. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and it's crazy because they don't talk about that. The doctors don't talk to you about that when you go in. You don't know much about perimenopause unless you directly specifically ask or do your own research. Because those like you're talking about, the aches and pains and stuff like that can also come during perimenopause.
Yeah, and that's stuff I didn't even consider, because as we were speaking about it, I was like, oh, it was arthritis. And you were like, but it wasn't arthritis. I'm like, what was it? You said menopause. I'm like, menopause?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that women go
I
through
just
for
wouldn't have
menopause.
thought
Yeah.
that. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you notice any, and this may be too personal, so you don't have to answer this, but did you notice any changes in your libido when you started going through menopause?
Absolutely.
Like, did it go up or did it go
Yeah.
down?
That's the reason why I once a month was too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had no desire.
Yeah.
Yeah, none. I found joy I found comfort. I found, you know, I found that I would rather do other things than that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be right
No,
with my speech.
Girl,
So yeah,
understandable.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I think that's so funny because I also know women who, after they've fully gone through menopause and all that kind of sort of passed, their libido
so my
Oh yeah,
mom
spikes.
absolutely.
jumped
Oh yeah,
jumped
Spikes
up.
up.
and that's exactly what I was just speaking with one of my coworkers today, and she was like, "Well, I'm 60 and I'm done, and I'm telling you, well, she's like, I'm so ready all the time." And I'm just like, well, I hope whenever I'm done with all this that mine returns, because right now I can see why now this is the time that a lot of marriages fail,
Yeah,
Mm,
that's true.
because the woman has no idea what's going on, because this is the first
Yeah.
time it's happened in her life. I know for me, I was not able to have that conversation with my mother because she didn't go through it. The other
Mhm.
women in my family, they didn't go through it. Nobody wanted to talk about whatever they did go through. Well, I didn't go through that. I don't know what you're talking about. So
yeah.
Yeah.
there, we don't have a blueprint. And so now, you have these mood swings, and things are not working like they used to, and you have a man who's still like, hey, 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 I'm still over here, and you're like, are you still breathing, and why are you
Mm.
breathing,
Why are you
Yeah.
here?
so why are you breathing, and no, stop touching me,
Yeah.
stop, so but they don't get it,
Yeah.
because nobody is sitting down and having that conversation that my
Yeah.
body's
Yeah.
changing, honey. It's not that I don't desire you. I want to be with you. My body is rejecting everything right now.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
because of that breakdown in communication, the man feels rejected and the woman feels like she's not being listened to. And so
Yeah.
then they just stop talking altogether. And then all of a sudden the kids are getting ready to go off to college, and mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
all of
mean,
a
it's
sudden
sad because
everybody
they
gets
don't talk
married.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's getting remarried. Like, what
Yeah.
happened? And mom's sex life is great now that she's talking to her adult children. Like, well, I don't know what was wrong with your dad, but I'm having a great time now. Well, it's because now that time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. It's just so crazy to me that we as women, especially I feel like younger generations, I feel like are a little more better when it comes to communicating and being open about like these sort of things. But like a lot of the older generations, you just didn't talk about
you
it.
didn't talk about it.
You dealt with it alone and you dealt with it in silence and you kept it moving, but you didn't discuss any of these things. And it's like, and then they throw us out here, then they have us, and they're just like, go into the wind. And then we
Mhm.
go through these things
You're like, I
and
have
they're
a
like,
period. What do I do?
Yes.
yeah. And it's like, well,
Here's a
you just,
pad.
here's a pad.
Yeah. And you're like, enjoy. And you're
Here's a,
like,
no, no, this is how it was for me. Here's a tampon. Go read the
Mhm.
instructions on the box. Like that's how it was. Like that's how I had to learn how to put. You know how many tampons I used. Sorry, now I'm mad at my mother. You know
Yeah.
how many tampons I used
You're
that
not
first
even
time because I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And
well,
it's just
and
like we are
plus,
literally
plus you don't
throwing the
even you're not
rules.
as lubricated when you first start.
Exactly.
There's not even enough in there to really truly use a tampon.
mm-mm.
Exactly. But it's just like
But
I feel like I'm hoping the more that we have these podcasts out, the more that we have as we get older and as these newer generations come in, that women are actually talking to themselves about these things and
Yeah.
not just when it happens, but like before, because I would like to be more prepared for it, you
Absolutely.
know?
And that's
Mhm.
why I wanted to ask, because I'm like, I don't know what to expect. Like, I know my mom had hot flashes and she felt some type of way, but like, that's really
But
all I
that,
know.
yeah, that's all I know.
And it would be nice to have like a heads up of like, what this is what your body's about to do. You about to hate
Aches,
it. It
pains,
would just be
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that, like, when I had the menopause and massage event for women, only wanted 20 women, and every woman was given a free 5-minute chair massage for
Oh,
coming. It was a free event, and I only wanted 20. And so I was really amazed at how many women who had never had a massage before, ever.
mm-hmm.
Like, never had a massage. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, not even a boob massage that led to sex? Never.
Right.
Like, never had been touched like that. And again,
Wow.
most of the women, of course, they're my age. And I'm looking
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I think a lot of times the breakdown is, again, like I said, the lack of communication. I
Yeah.
have my definition of what a relationship is. The man has his definition of what a relationship is. But we don't necessarily have that conversation together of what we think. And then what happens is when you do something that, irritates me or offends me, I kind of swallow it because, you just don't know. And then
Yeah.
after I continue to swallow so many times, then all of a sudden when I, throw it back up at you, you've done this, it's probably because of something small, because
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been angry for a very long time because I never really had a conversation. And so again, the lack of communication when it comes to women going through menopause at this time leads to a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of arguments that shouldn't be. It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
just, I was at a conference yesterday where we were talking about elderly people and sex, and how I think she was 85, her husband was 89, and they were still
Okay.
very much
You know
sexual.
them nursing homes be wild, girl.
And they lived in an assisted living center, and she is a
See?
sex therapist.
Oh,
And yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Her
so
too.
she was just trying to give the people in the crowd the
Mhm.
knowledge to know that you can still work what you have.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to work perfectly in order for you to still have a sexual life with one
yeah.
another.
Absolutely.
And it was good. And so when she got done, everybody was like, married people who are engaged need to hear this before they get married, to know that the woman's body is going to change, the man's body is going to change. He's not going to always be like this. At some point he's going to be like this. He's going to have a 90-degree angle. He's not going to be straight up and down.
Girl.
And it's okay. It's okay.
It's so.
It's the circle of life. It's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
keep going down. How about that? Until it
Yeah.
won't ever come back up.
Yeah.
So, but and at the very end of the presentation, she'd already kind of told us, like, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you some nude pictures of women that are aging from 70 to 94. And when I tell you, they were so tastefully done.
Oh,
Nice.
I love that.
So,
That is
but
beautiful.
just letting them know that, this is what an aged body is going to look like.
Yeah.
And men, on average, don't really care. But it is because the woman is not confident. That's when he becomes taken aback, because he wants her to feel comfortable and he doesn't want to feel like, well, I'm all right. You need to be all right. So
Yeah.
it's the confidence of it all. And when I tell
Yeah.
you, them 70 and 94-year-old women was like,
I know that's right.
I say, you better do it till you're
I
I
know
satisfied.
know that's
that.
right.
I love it. I think it's
Yes.
dope. I think because we actually talked about this a while back, how because we had some conversations with some women that were a little bit older than us, and they were talking about how they didn't, as they get older, they just didn't feel desirable, and they didn't feel like
Yeah.
anybody cared, and all of this. So it's really nice to hear that they had something, especially women of that age, that they can understand that they are still beautiful and they're still
Exactly.
wanted, and it's just really nice because I feel like more women need to understand that this is just naturally, our bodies are just going to change. Our bodies are going to do different things, but we're still beautiful. We're still desirable. We're still
Exactly.
wanted. And I just, the way that I feel social media sometimes makes it seem is that, like, if you're not young, you're just, that's it. You should
Yeah.
just die.
You should just you should just
And you only believe that when you're young. As soon as you get to a certain
Exactly.
age,
exactly.
as soon as you
Exactly.
get to a certain, like, you know what, being young is not hip. That's not where it's at.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. I love aging.
It's a
Yes,
great
It
time.
is.
She
it
said Mary
is.
Jane Ellerson, Big Mama never had menopause, but I'm catching it late after 50.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
She said mood changes, appetite changes, temper flares, your hair will
Yep.
change in every area. Wow.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, absolutely. Like I thought my hair was something until I started looking, like, yeah, this all of this is menopause. My hair has changed, my skin has changed, all
Yeah.
of it. All of it.
Wow.
Like, all I can say is my grandmother was right. Keep living.
Yeah.
Keep living.
Yeah. Because it is. It's all, I mean, it changes for us.
Says one day your menopause will not be an active thing, and your true love, if they are true love, will love you. And yes, our seniors can have a healthy sexual relationships with active hands-on love. I
Yep.
Love
like
that.
that.
Yes,
I like
Love
that.
absolutely.
that. I love it
Absolutely.
too.
Oh, we have a question. She
Okay.
said, "Do you think lots of older men start dating younger women due to menopause?"
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Because again, we have
interesting.
changed, and we are, I shouldn't say have changed, we are changing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And again, we don't know how to truly navigate this menopause life because we've never gone through it. And if you don't
exactly.
Mhm.
have a coach, a mentor, someone in your family to teach you, you are going through menopause blind. So
Yeah.
when you have that mood swing, when you see that your skin is changing, when you see that your hair is thinning, all that stuff becomes internal. Like, what is wrong with me? What
Yeah,
is going on? And and
Mhm.
then you're looking at him. Why are you looking at her? You think she's prettier than me? What? His eyes literally shifted. There are so My goal is to truly have menopause meetings.
I think that would be a good idea. I mean, I had when I got my hysterectomy, I actually was part of a hysterectomy group. It was like called the Hyster Sisters, just to
Oh,
kind
I
of yeah, just to have like a community of people to
so
understand
cute.
it. My dad actually
I know. I
found
was like,
it.
that's why I was like, that's so
Yeah, he
cute.
because he
it
wanted to
is.
make sure I was good. Like he's like, you're still young. I just want to make sure you're
Yes.
okay. And so they have those support groups for for people. So I think a menopause like conversation or a group would be very helpful for women that are not only going through menopause, but also that are going to end up going through menopause.
Exactly, because again, we don't get that
You don't
education
get
anywhere
it.
else other than learning it through the grapevine and
Mhm,
other
mhm.
women and what
Or
they've gone
as it
through,
happens.
or as it happens. And it's like we should be, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit
Hop
real
on,
quick
hop on.
because I feel like young girls, young women, we don't get educated about our sexual reproductive systems. We don't get
It's true.
educated on how those change, on
Mhm,
hormones. We don't get educated on any of that. We are
mhm,
taught the birds and the bees most of the time in some schools, and some schools don't even do that.
Yeah.
We're not taught these things. And I feel like it's so important for
mhm,
women and young women to be able to learn that so that we are prepared for the future. Because when the hair changes and the skin changes and all of that occurs,
mhm,
unfortunately, in today's age, and I think always,
mhm,
women we're held to a certain standard of beauty.
mhm,
And
mhm.
if we can't meet
Absolutely.
that standard, especially as we get older,
Mhm,
we
We feel like
we
crap.
feel like shit about ourselves.
mhm,
We end up having our husbands leave or
mhm,
divorce, or we end up getting, we end up leaving or whatever. And it's a whole thing, but it's
mhm,
because I feel like a lot of us are just not educated on it, especially
mhm,
men too. It's
mhm,
really
mhm,
sad because it's like, how am I supposed to explain to my man
What's
when
mhm.
going on
I
with my
don't
body
even
when
know
I don't
what's
know?
going
Yeah.
on
No, you're
because I
right.
That's
was
it.
never educated on
That
it?
That
that's
is
it.
it.
And that's what I'm saying. So I do believe that men start dating younger women due to menopause because let's just say they're used to sometimes juicy, and when you go through menopause, some
You ain't
women are
juicy
no longer
sometimes.
juicy.
Yeah.
And so they don't know, they think that you're non-juicy is rejection.
Yeah.
So
Not
you don't want me
realizing.
anymore. And you have no
Yeah.
idea that your non-juiciness, and I'm just making these words up. I'm being a word maker upper.
We
I know
Um,
understand. We
juiciness.
picking
I
up
know
what you're
so
what you're
putting down.
saying.
they're taking you not receiving them as
Yeah,
rejection, and you don't even know why you're drying up.
Yeah.
exactly. So then you
And
think there's a
so
problem with yourself. And yeah,
It's a
yes,
cycle.
it's a
yes.
cycle.
And so the argument is over, you never know what you want me to cook, but really it's you're not satisfying me in the bedroom. That's really
Yeah.
what
Mhm.
the argument is about. The
Mhm.
bedroom sucks, but I need to have an argument with you, so I'm gonna talk to you about the lack of cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
He said, I'm not older, but I've had conversations with older men, and usually they have a girlfriend on the side because the sex just stopped. And then he said, we just don't get educated in America,
No,
which is true.
it's true. We
Mhm.
don't.
Do
and
you
and the
feel,
Go ahead.
oh, it says, do you feel the processing
Oh yeah.
chemicals and foods have
Oh
caused
yes.
early menopause?
Yes, I don't
Absolutely.
eat any of that. And again, that's the reason why I choose loose leaf tea, because I don't know what's in the tea. First of all, you can
Yeah.
tell me that it's hibiscus, but if I don't see it in the actual canister or whatever I buy it in, I'm not. And then even if it's in the actual tea bag, I don't know what's in the tea bag. I don't know what the tea bag was
Exactly.
made in, if it was
Yeah.
bleached, what chemicals were used. So I try my best to go as natural as possible. That's the reason why I do the drops in my navel with the castor oil, and that's why I use the magnesium with the distilled water, and I use glass. And I had to take my own health under my own control,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I felt like, and I'm not being even funny, a lot of times going in as a black woman, if I don't have questions already written down, they come in so quick and they're gone. Like, wait.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is
So
so
I come
true.
in with questions and I'm like, I'm having this done to me. And I'm feeling this, and this. And even with that, nobody ever said it was menopause. It was
Yeah.
it was the natural way your body was aging.
Yeah.
After I was charged thousands and thousands of dollars for an MRI.
Absolutely.
It's
Girl, it's
I don't want to hop into the medical thing with being a Black woman because that's just gonna go very far. But
Exactly. But
I
I'm just
understand.
saying that
Yeah,
that is
I
the reason
yeah.
understand.
why I try natural first.
Yeah.
And if that, because I've never had to take a medication. Now they tried when I was
Yeah.
hurt. Well, do you want any pain medication? I said, for the last time. I even start out, I'm in pain and I do not want pain medication. I want to know what can I take naturally. Well, they're not going to tell you what you can take naturally.
No, they're not.
Because it's not gonna make them any money.
No,
No.
exactly. Exactly. And it's crazy because we just had this conversation
We
because
did.
it's like, you know, I can only imagine what Black women have to go through because just what I have to go through, having to go into the doctor and try to, like, you know, you're looked at like you're being dramatic. It's
Well,
your
you
blood
saw
work.
it when I went.
I know I almost whooped that doctor's ass. That little
It
white
was a
man.
mess.
I
It was
almost
a mess, girl.
dragged
A
him across the floor.
mess.
But
Well, the history of Black women, it's been that we can withstand pain. So
Yeah.
when we say we are in pain, it's not taken as true. Like, oh,
It's
yeah,
you're
not.
right.
it's not.
Because we're not human beings, so
No,
Yeah.
no.
we're
But
not supposed
anyway,
to feel anything.
yeah,
But yeah, I
exactly.
won't get on.
Yeah, get off of
Get
Yeah.
that.
on that.
It's just crazy because it's like just like women, like Black women have it so hard when it comes to going into the doctors. It's like, and me, I can only like I said, I can only imagine because when I go in, they just dismiss me.
Yeah.
They just dismiss me. I went through this whole thing with all these doctors and they were just like, well, it's just fibromyalgia and it's just this. And I'm like, no, there's something really fucking wrong with my body. Like
Yeah.
I had to
Mhm.
go to 6 different doctors for somebody to finally actually listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it was
But at
just like,
least you continue to go.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's crazy, but it's just like
So many women
watching
just give up.
Deidre. What was
Yeah.
that?
She said because sometimes most women just give up.
Give
Oh,
up.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it's sad because it's like we're not listened to. But like
Mm-mm.
going in and seeing how Deidre was fucking treated, girl,
It was a mess.
I was
It was a
ready to
mess.
whoop some ass.
And it's like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
I told her
These-
she's not allowed to go without me now.
Good. Because you have to have someone there that's going to help to advocate for you. You have to
Yeah.
advocate for yourself. But
Yeah.
then if you have someone there, that's even better.
Yeah. Because how is she supposed to communicate shit when she's screaming in pain?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're over here being a whole asshole.
Mhm, mhm.
Man,
It was a
Thinking
mess.
she's
I
being
still want to go
dramatic.
back to that hospital and find
Yeah,
the doctor and
that's
look at that.
exactly what he was just like. I just don't understand why you're still in pain because I
Literally
did
what he was
this.
saying.
I had a big
Verbatim.
mass in the middle of my chest, and he couldn't understand why I was in pain.
Mhm.
He had no idea.
No
He was like,
idea.
"I don't understand."
And
I'm
he
like,
didn't care.
He didn't
No,
care,
and he didn't even use all the fucking lidocaine that he
or
put in
get
that
into the. He
syringe.
didn't get to the right level either.
Nope, I had to yell at him to do it again.
Wow.
It was crazy because
Anyways, now we're getting on a whole other topic.
She said they won't tell you what to do to eliminate the pain. It's crazy. They look at Black women like you'll be okay. That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Mhm.
They're like you'll be fine because you don't have aches and pains. And I feel like a lot of the time. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on it, and we can move on. I feel like a lot of the times they're just testing stuff to see how far they can take it and how much we're gonna deal with, and if they can maybe find out something new by experimenting on us. I've had a lot of surgeries, and them doctors were just taking out chunks of tissue and muscle and everything and skin just to see what was gonna happen. They had no idea how to handle the issue. They had no idea what the issue actually was. A lot of these people were not even somewhat well informed about HS. So they were just doing shit to be doing shit. And they put me in so much pain. I have so many scars. I have so many things that happened because these doctors didn't care.
Mhm.
They just did not care.
I'm sorry.
It
I
was
remember you
insane.
suffered a lot in undergrad.
I did. I had a lot of
remember.
surgeries in undergrad and they kept happening. I had more.
Wow.
So thankfully now I have a doctor that he's the guy for
Good.
HS. So
Good.
it's like it's good, but
I'm
it's
sorry
a
to hear
very it's just a very tough thing to deal with. So I say all this to say it would be great to have somebody to talk about menopause with other women. It would be great
Absolutely.
to have somebody to give that information because you cannot always rely on the doctor to give you that information because they won't sometimes.
Yeah.
If you have a really good, especially if you have like a really good OB, they'll probably do it like OBGYN. They'll do a great job if you have a good one, but it's real hit or miss, but I think it would be very important to have those conversations and just conversations about sexual health in general. Me and Shelby did an episode on sexual health and kind of dispelling myths and the truths and things about your own vaginal health. And
Yeah,
you know, I think it's important to get that information out there because a lot of people don't know.
absolutely.
They don't know.
Everybody's experimenting.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is.
Both senior women and men can be very flirtatious with younger individuals. Yes. However, there are couples like my folks that are seniors who have been married since the 40s. It's low key beautiful. That is actually really
such
beautiful.
a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
It's rare. It's rare.
It's very rare.
It's such a beautiful thing to see.
Yes.
Bless your heart, love. But they are definitely experimenting on us. It's practice. It is literally called a practice for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. Okay. I have really enjoyed this conversation, but we have definitely gone.
I know. That's why I wouldn't say anything. I'm like,
I was like, I want to keep talking, but I know it is kind of late, and but thank you everybody for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, Vyta, for joining us as well. It sounds so weird to say that and not be like, hey, Sora Copeland.
But it's okay. But yeah, I don't think you've ever called me Vyta this many times in your life.
Look, I'm getting it in because after this, I'm calling you Sora Copeland from here on out. So
of course.
But thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us your information. It was beautiful. It was great. Before we get out of here, though, please tell everybody where your socials are, and then so that they can find you. I'll put them up in the video when I post it. So just say it, and then we'll put it out.
Right. Okay. So you can find me on Instagram and Threads at lifeherway_loving me more. So life her way is one word, _ loving is LOVINMEMORE. So life her way _ loving me more. That's at Instagram and Threads. On TikTok, I'm at life her way LMM, all one word. And then I do have a public Facebook group, and it's living, one word, life her way, one word, after 50.
Nice.
Okay. And then I was trying to put it in the chat, but I just realized I didn't get it all. So if you could, when we do get off here later on or some point, just send me a text of all of those things so I can put them in the video, because I want to make sure people can find you.
Absolutely.
And get this information, because what you're putting out there is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's needed. It's necessary.
Absolutely.
Please keep doing it.
Yeah.
Please keep doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm grateful to hear that. Thank you, cousin. I love you too.
It's great.
Yes, this has been such a good show.
This has been really good.
I'm really grateful for everybody who's been interacting and commenting and being here. It's beautiful. I love having these group talks with everybody. And thank you so much, Vyta, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm not going to call you Sora Copeland because I'm part of that.
Yeah, you don't.
It's okay.
But yeah, so we appreciate you being on and taking the time to do this with us. And like we usually say, guys, like, share, follow, subscribe. If you have any questions, or if you have any recommendations on any topics that you want us to talk about, or even any sort of guests that you think would be great on the show, we would love to have them.
We're not doing men just yet, so please don't recommend men yet.
Men are not on
next
here yet.
year is men.
Is for women as of right now.
Yeah.
But eventually we will have men on the show. But so we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate all that you've done. So
yes.
Thank you so
guys.
much. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.